So, welcome to today's episode of UndocuStartup Weekly, where I share the biggest lessons that I've been learning building the #1 entrepreneurship program for undocumented students. If you're an Undocu student ally and you're struggling with helping your Undocu students get into entrepreneurship, please visit www.undocustartup.com. Again, that is www.undocustartup.com so we can see if we can collaborate.
Welcome to UndocuStartup by Juan Maya Hernandez.
All right, let's jump right into it. Lesson number 1 is that content works. Keep doing it. The first year when I had the idea of UndocuStartup, I wanted to test these incubator, these entrepreneurship programs. My main way of getting leads, getting clients, starting conversations to potential partners was just doing cold email. I was just gonna cold email different people. I cold email a lot of people, and that worked for year 1. For year 2, that was also something that I continue to do. But very recently, I started posting more content on social media. I've experimented with content that is around the brand. I've experimented with content that I enjoy posting. But recently, I started posting content that has a call to action for somebody to book a meeting with me. So I posted something and I said, comment this or direct message me and I can send you more information. So I posted that and that led to a new conversation. And that led to sending a new proposal. That's something that I didn't expect. It takes less time than it takes for me to cold email people. So I just want to continue doing this. And when I think of content, the content strategy now is, do I create content for students or do I create content for people that are going to pay me? And I think if we're looking at the strategy moving forward, we're going to be looking at content for both, but also content that has a call to action. So that is lesson number 1. Lesson number 2, this one's really, really important. Y'all know that earlier this year I had an assistant contractor, and y'all know that I've been hiring different freelancers to help me with the media side of stuff. But one of the things that I realized is that I should have a list of media freelancers to support events, and this is gonna be very useful for me as I continue doing these programs in person. Imagine a day where I am traveling to other states doing events over there, doing programs over there. I'm gonna need somebody or a list of people that are gonna be available. And what I learned from this most recent program that I finished was that the freelancer that I had hired during the summer was not available, so I had to look for another person. So I should have a list of maybe 3, 4, 5 freelancers, media freelancers that I can connect with. So like that, I can go down the list, and hopefully somebody is able to make it. So like that, I don't have to like continue to post the hiring thing. Maybe I start building that pipeline of freelancers, because that is one of the things that I'm gonna need in the future, especially if I start doing, like, imagine I do like 2, 3, 4, 5 programs a month. That's gonna be a different level, or we're gonna need somebody there. Maybe it's part-time, maybe they're full-time. We'll find out as we grow. Lesson number 3 is on the same topic of freelancers, is I should have a protocol for freelancers. So this includes their W-9 forms so I can hire them. This includes a contract ready to go, and also maybe like a document, something that explains everything. I recently added name tags. I showed y'all a little bit on that. Essentially kind of giving them the rundown. If I can film the tutorials, I can just make like an onboarding document that has tutorials on, like, okay, this is what this means, this is how it's going to look like, these are some examples. I think that's going to be pretty good to go, because what I've been finding is with these freelancers that I do hire, at times I have to create a new contract. I have to create a new Trello board, which is kind of like Monday.com, that helps me manage all the projects. And that is time consuming. So if I just have it, I just copy, duplicate it. That is going to be great. All right. Lesson number 4 is to pay for quality. I mentioned this to you all for this most recent bootcamp, for this most recent program. I was hiring a freelancer. Initially, I put $250 for 4 hours plus bonuses if anybody was interested. However, I received nobody. Nobody was available. Nobody enjoyed the amount of money that was being offered. So I had 2 decisions, right? Either I do this program without documenting it, which would be a huge mistake, or I increase the amount of money I can pay this freelancer to see if we can get more people in the door. So I decided to go from paying $200 to paying $600 plus bonuses and bonuses. I talked to the freelancer about this, but I ended up getting a lot more applications when I increased the price, right? And this was something that I had already known. When I hired a media freelancer, again, maybe like about a month, 2 months ago, I put up something that was around $1,500 contract, and I received like 20 applications, 20, 30, 40 applications. And I realized that, I mean, everything is about money, right? So I am willing to pay somebody if they're good, if they have all their equipment. I don't have to coach them. I just kind of got to tell them like, hey, just focus on this, do this. This is what I'm looking for. Lesson number 5 is more on like operational stuff. I think right now, based on my experience earlier this year, based on my experience in the most recent events, I think I'm at a stage where I just need freelancers to help me at these in-person events, somebody to help me get set up, somebody to help me sign in. At the same time, somebody that's good with media, with content. And at the same time, remember, we talked about burnout in the last UndocuStartup weekly, right? So to avoid any burnout, I do envision me having freelancers run a fireside chat. I do envision myself training freelancers to run some of my boot camps in the future. So that's just something that I have to see. Obviously, I have to budget for it, right? And we're gonna be learning as we go. But essentially, I think that in order for me to get to the next step, right, which is like a 5x, a 10x of what where I'm currently at, I'm gonna need to hire freelancers, maybe a part-time person even, as we continue to grow, but I'll keep you all updated on that. And now the last lesson is to set reminders for program tasks so I don't forget. You see, one of the things that happened with one of my programs is that I forgot about some tasks. I forgot about task ABC. And this should be helpful when I am running programs, multiple programs at the same time. This happened earlier this year when I was running one at a high school. I was also running another one in California. And essentially I had to manage both projects at the same time. And I included reminders. So I use Trello, and on that Trello, I can add an automation. So it sends me a reminder every single Monday, every single Monday, list of tasks that I needed to be completed. And I stopped doing that for these upcoming programs. And I realized that it's extremely, extremely important. I need to continue doing those. I need to continue automating these things. I need to continue just keeping track of everything that I need to complete. And again, like I mentioned, the thing that is going to make this the easiest is just having templates of the proposals, having templates of the Trello boards, having templates of what we're going to talk about, and we're going to go from there. So those are all the lessons, y'all. I hope you find this helpful. Let's just run through them again. Lesson number 1, content works, so keep doing that. Lesson number 2, have a list of media freelancers to support events. Lesson number 3 is to have a protocol for freelancers. Lesson number 4 is to pay for quality. So if you're not receiving people when you're putting up a job posting, increase the amount of money. Lesson number 5 is I'm in a stage where I need freelancers for in-person events. So these are freelancers that can help me on the assistant tasks, setting up stuff. If I want to go to that next level where I do envision it happening this year, in 2026. And then the last lesson is to set reminders for program tasks so I don't forget, right? We don't want anything to go wrong. And I think just building this little system, like automating some of these things, which I've already done in the past, is just going to help me make that next step. And hopefully it helps me grow. So with that being said, everyone, I really appreciate your time. Remember, if you're listening to Spotify and Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform, give it a star, give it a rating. I'm trying to get to 100. If you're watching this on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe. And remember, entrepreneurship has no limits. Be motivated and stay motivated, baby. I'll talk to you soon.